Have you ever thought that your sales team might be getting dragged into things that they should not be doing that's stopping them from making sales? Then this week's episode is for you. Welcome to this week's episode of MiTV. My name is Emma Mills and I help business owners to leverage their time, focus on the stuff they love and win the week. And this week's episode is about the implications of getting team members dragged into roles that they should not be doing, and it will cost you time and money. And it's inspired by a conversation I had with one of my clients last week, and he was telling me how he'd realized recently that they were missing calls every single day. And as we worked through the conversation, there were 7 big impacts that it was having on his team, their profitability and customer success. I wanted to go through these 7 things with you today because if you are not aware of at least one of them, it might be one of those marginal gains, those tweaks that you can make in the business to have big impacts. So number 1, when he started to look at the data of missing calls, what he realized was because so many calls were being missed, other people in the business were picking up the phone that shouldn't have been picking up the phone, and in his case it was the sales team. And so the sales team were picking up customer service calls. Now you don't have to be a sales expert, a Grant Cardone or Alex Hormozy to understand that if I've got my sales team picking up customer service calls, they're not doing what they should be doing, which is making sales. And so it was kind of a knock-on effect in his business that he had people picking up calls that weren't meant for them, trying to take messages, trying to handle things that was just a waste of their time because there was a number of calls coming in. They didn't have enough people to answer the phone, and it was having a knock-on effect in all parts of the business. So my number 1 for you is first to understand if you're missing calls, but if you have got lots of calls coming into the business which your frontline or your receptionist or whoever it is who's meant to take them can't handle them, or they're missing them, there's too many. Where are they going? What is happening to them? Because even missing them is bad enough, but then also if you've got the wrong person answering them, it's a distraction, it's a time drain, it's a money waster. So that is my number 1. Number 2, how many calls are you missing in the day, in the week, in the month? And if you don't know, this is absolutely no judgment, because when I talk to lots of business owners, they don't really know. But it's a stat that is such a game changer to tweak and get better at. So if you're not missing calls, let's sort that out. You could most honestly, unless you're on some kind of really old BT landline, most systems now have got the reporting to show you when you're missing calls. The data is there, so if you can get that first and then look at when you're missing them. Maybe it's that lunch times, you miss all your calls then, or after hours, but there's solutions for all of them to get them covered if your team are missing any at all. Number 3, can you report on it? When I was having the conversation with my client last week, and we help him in other parts of his business, and he said to me, I said, how many calls are you missing per day? And he's like, on average about 50. Now 50 is a lot, and you can imagine that those numbers are inflated as well because people will ring back who've not got through to the first time. But he's able to report on that now and make a change in his business and improve on it, because as we know, what gets measured gets done. So can you report on what is happening with your phone calls? Because if you can't, it's definitely a thing that should go to the top of your list. If any way, shape or form, customers or new inquiries ring into your business, you should be able to report on how many calls you're missing and when. Number 4, distraction. I've talked about it a lot in recent weeks, but the average employee in a business is productive for 2 hours and 53 minutes per day. So it's let's say the average employee works for 7.5, 8 hours. It's way less than half. 2 hours, 53 minutes is core productivity time. The rest of it is a lot of distraction, checking apps, notifications, emails, chat, flicking between things, not really getting the good work done. If we then increase distraction by the wrong people in the business answering the phone, it happens a lot with us with mortgage brokers. So mortgage brokers will effectively, you'll generally have the initial person who has started the business is a mortgage broker. They will bring advisors on, they'll have an admin, and as they're growing, the brokers that they bring on, or the original founder themselves, they'll be answering the phone. But that's not that. It is guaranteed that most of those calls it would be one of those things they shouldn't have answered, whether it's picking your brains, something they're doing right now, maybe they're in the middle of submitting a case. With my client who I've been talking to, his sales team are answering the phone because the customer service calls are overflowing. Again, it's a distraction. It's not what they should be doing, and it happens in so many businesses that the phone will just flood to everybody, and whoever grabs it. And we know that being reactive, answering a call, like completely takes you out of the zone of what you were doing. And if you're in that 2 hours 53 minutes of deep productivity work, why would you have them distracted by phone calls they're not meant to be answering? So distraction is a massive one when understanding what's going on with the phone calls in your business. Number 5, and this is a biggie, if somebody rings your business and you miss it, are they ringing back again? Now, if they're an existing customer and they've got a query, a complaint, or they need some help, or they're looking for progress, they're likely to ring back because they're an existing customer and they need your help. Now, obviously, it's not the best impression that somebody's had to ring back and you couldn't capture it straight away, but it's kind of savable. If it's a new inquiry, it's really unlikely that, unless potentially somebody's referred you or what you sell that is so specific that they can't easily get it elsewhere, most people are going to ring once and then move to the next line on Google, or move to somebody else that's maybe come through on a leaflet through the door, depending on what you do. Like, if with most businesses you're going to get one chance, and if that's not answered, it's really few and far between that they'll ring back. So if you're missing a call, you don't know, and this is what we were going through with my client the other day, is that out of the 50 that they're missing, okay, they're not all new inquiries, we know that, but even if 5 of them are they ringing back? How do we know the new inquiries? How are we capturing them again? So honestly, your ability to be able to capture every single call as it comes in is really key to maximizing marketing, maximizing reputation and customer service, and just making sure that nothing slips through the cracks. Number 6, we love when we answer the phone to get people booked straight onto a call, a discovery call, whatever comes next in the new inquiry journey. If you've got the wrong person answering the phone in your business, the likelihood is they're taking a message, probably taking it badly because it's not their actual job to do it anyway. And then you're going to have to ring them back, and then they might not be available. So having the right person answer the phone who can progress that, whether it's a new inquiry or a customer query, into a secured call, a calendar link, a booking a call, is a really key part of understanding if the right person is answering the phone for you. And last but not least, number 7, and you will definitely have experienced this. When you ring up a business, a restaurant, a hotel, and somebody answers it and you're like, hello, have I reached this, the business? Because you just answer it hello. Or they're like, you're trying to get some help and it's like one word answers and you're thinking, does this person even work there? Like, it happens so often that the wrong person grabs the phone, that it's not their skill set to do it, they don't want to do it, it's taking them away from what they should be doing. So I do, it's criminal in lots of businesses where somebody's answered it, and probably the owner is the friendliest person alive, customer service is really important, and unfortunately for them, somebody in the business has answered it who's just a kind of a one word, I'm not meant to be on the telephone kind of person. And it happens a lot. And so making sure as well that where your calls are routed is going to the right people who should be giving that, hello, how are you? That really great first impression is again another quick win. And today, after I'd had this conversation with my client, I just feel like these 7 things, even if you just took half an hour, if you've not considered it before, to go through it in your business, to go, right, okay, well, where are the calls going when they come in? Who is answering them? Are we missing any calls? Do I know if I can see if we miss calls? Do I report on it weekly? All of these things are just those lovely marginal gains which make such a difference to the happiness of your customers, your reputation, and most importantly, your bottom line as well. And so I hope it's been helpful for you. Go and run through my 7 points, and I'll see you next week for episode 270. See you then. Bye bye.